I think it's a calling, or you're fortunate enough to find yourself in this business. It's really a sense of duty and serving. That's why I do it, and I think that's why most people do it.
Now is the time to take those health guidelines seriously.
I mean, I've seen natural disasters, I've seen catastrophes in small communities and neighborhoods, but nothing on the global scale.
Heartbreak for local law enforcement and the Overland Park community tonight after the tragic death of an officer killed in the line of duty.
We're not used to this, so we're going to ask the city, state, country for your prayers.
I basically told everybody goodbye.
Jason was on a ventilator for 18 days.
2020 was a mess.
I can remember the day. I was actually on duty that day. We were at Station 9 and just kind of watching the news unfold. Canceled the NBA game and canceled the college game, and you start hearing reports in the stock market.
More signs of the world's biggest economy actually shutting down.
We were hearing information about a potential threat in another part of the world, and people had their eye on it. We were wondering how it was going to affect us.
No one knew exactly what it was. We had to make a lot of changes.
And to make everything we do be based on science and evidence.
I mean, there was a certain amount of disbelief.
As it unfolded, you just didn't understand what was going on.
Everything you do in your life has just changed, what seemed like overnight. When Chief Green got sick, it changed things for me.
You don't realize how bad something is until something happens to your family member, and I've always considered him family.
It took something that was surreal and all of a sudden made it very real and made it very personal.
You know, you're just in disbelief. How could this happen?
I think for those of us in this line of work, our role is to solve problems. We come into a situation that's chaotic, and whether it's through protocols or procedures, we try to organize the situation and try to reassure everyone that we're able to do something about this. Not having answers or being able to solve it, it was tough.
We're considered an essential worker. You gotta have a fire department. You gotta have somebody to run the emergencies. I distinctly remember those times, that drive into work where it was literally a ghost town.
One of the hardest things for me was having the discussion with my family, or even with my kiddos, asking them, because of my job, do you want me to stay away from you? We began to see it kind of creep into our community and into Johnson County, into Overland Park.
It was a little unnerving running calls. We were limiting the number of people who were, going into an emergency scene, so that we were limiting the exposure.
Here at Station 7's area, we've had several of the nursing homes facilities here get hit pretty hard. We were running 3, 4, 5 COVID patients per day.
That took a toll on everyone. Going to the nursing homes, especially with the height of the nursing home infection rates.
We in the fire service walk through the door of a fire station when we come to work. We carry the burden of what we're going to do today at the station. When we walk out that door, we leave that burden behind us and we go home. And we go home to take a break if we've had a busy night. We go home to be with our family. And when COVID came, when we went home, COVID was there.
It was a grind. It was monotonous to some degree, and it was taxing on everyone. Everyone that I worked with personally, I think we took it in stride and really took on the challenge like we do with everything, really hit it head on.
One of the things I kind of saw was the privilege that we had walking through those doors. We were allowed to go into those rooms, we were allowed to walk those hallways, and we were allowed to talk to their loved ones face to face or through a mask. And I think I really kind of took that on as a privilege, as a responsibility, as a role to be the hands and feet of these family members who are not able to go in and be with them. And we had the opportunity maybe to touch a shoulder, to hold a hand, to reassure, to talk to them. And when you see family outside the window while we're walking in, it just gives you that idea, the privilege, the role that we have being able to go into these facilities, that we have the knowledge, we have the understanding, we have the supplies and the equipment to be able to go in and serve these families, serve these loved ones that family just cannot do anything about right now.
I think one thing that we did really well as an organization was developing that COVID hotline very early on to be a single point source for information. And I know we became a source of information and a source of a reference and a point of guidance for the entire city. And I'm really proud of our fire department for doing that. Every organization within the city looked to the fire department and for ways of navigating through this.
We were rewriting the playbook on how we run calls, how we interact around the station.
There might be other people watching from other departments in the city, but I've always believed that the fire department is the best department in the city. And COVID is a true example. When it came down to something serious that the city needed solutions, they turned to the fire department. And they always have in the past, they always will in the future. We've always been able to solve problems. We've always been there, and I think the city will continue to look to the fire department for that.
Our people are so resilient. I can't say enough about how well everybody performed, during this time. While none of this was fun, at least I got to go through it with a bunch of people that I respect. They're just an amazing group of individuals, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to work with them through a very difficult time.
Everyone that I came in contact with was hitting this thing head on and really rose to the occasion and just kept on moving forward. We tried to stay as positive as possible, found ways of just making it work. Through it all, we kept responding to 911 calls, and we kept doing what the department's mission is, and that was being there for people.
Even when the world around you is falling apart, for whatever reason, you still came to work and you still served and you kept your chin up, and coming out on the other side of this, hopefully, with even broader shoulders and a little more pride underneath you, because you did it. I mean, you still did it. Even though the world was falling apart, you did it.
It's more than a pin on your dress uniform that says I survived something. It's tipping your hat to everyone that worked here and made it through, and together we're on the other side of something that was historic. When Chief Green could walk out of that hospital was an awesome day.
And for him to make that recovery, it's nothing short of a miracle.
It felt like a miracle.
It was a credit to him and his will to survive, and it was also a credit to many other people who had a will to believe he would. What we learned from COVID was this probably is the worst thing the fire department has ever had to face. We may not have come through it unscarred, but we came through it, and my gosh, if we can survive COVID, what can't we survive? Bring it on.